Hey, what's up, Unbroken Nation? And as I continue to move forward in my life and think about the person that I want to be as a leader, as a person of color, and as a man in America, it's very much so something that comes to the forefront of my thought process every day. And what does it mean to be a leader? And what does it mean to be a person of color, especially when we're often looked at under a microscope and every little thing we say or do is not only criticized, but potentially can ruin our careers, and especially amongst cancel culture and things of that nature. But today, I feel this really wonderful sense of not only pride, but this idea that this shift is happening. And that's impactful to me because I've spent the majority of my life always thinking color first. And that's because I've been inundated in the society in which I currently exist. I've been pulled over while driving a nice car while being a person of color and been unlawfully handcuffed as a teenager for just being in the wrong place at the wrong time, or even not being at any place at all other than just walking down my street. And I face the repercussion of other people's opinions based on my skin tone time and again. And so it's really beautiful to see what is starting to take shape and change in this country. And as that continues to happen, I just hope that we take a step back and recognize that in order for us to create change, we have to acknowledge the past. And so often people want to shove it down and pretend things didn't happen and go, oh, America's not that bad. But realistically, it's also not that great. But we have the opportunity to make it a better country. We have an opportunity to have a dialogue and a discourse and create change and be leaders in our communities and do the thing that our forefathers and mothers were too afraid to do. And that's to have open dialogue about the reality of the world that we live in. Look, realistically, as someone who grew up in poverty and in multiple different types of scenarios and seeing both the good and the bad of all races, I have a full understanding of what it's like to be a citizen of America and the world. And what I can tell you is that there are unbelievably good people in this country of all colors. And there are unbelievably bad people in this country of all colors. And the truth about it is that unfortunately, until we get to this place where we are able to have conversations about how to make the world a better place without it being color based, we're always going to have this conversation. And the unfortunate part is, and like this to me feels not so grandiose, but more so as something that's just going to take time. And as I look at the current sitting president of the United States of America, just like you, I can imagine from time to time you feel a lot of shame about being an American citizen. And the reality is, I see us out here walking the streets, signing the petitions, calling for change, and doing the things that we promised that we were going to do. And that is really beautiful. And ultimately, one day we're going to wake up and the world is going to be the one that we always imagined it could be. And Donald Trump will hopefully no longer be our president. And what will happen is we will be in a place where open conversation and dialogue is allowed, and we can protest freely, and we can call for change, and we can create a country that we want to live in, that we are proud of, that we don't feel shame for. And that is our responsibility as individual leaders, as citizens of the world, and ultimately as people who want to live in a place of harmony and peace and love and understanding.